So at this point, we've looked at just some basic configuration details around Nessus, and what I want to do now is actually create a policy. So I'm going to create a new policy here, and the first thing I need to do is give it a name. And I'm actually going to make it shared. Not that it matters because I'm the only user on this particular Nessus installation. If there were multiple users, I could actually share it across to other users and they could make use of it as well. So just going to give it a description here. So my shared policy. So I'm going to update at this point. And now we're going to go back into here and we're going to take a look at the other settings. So I've got port scanning, and I want to take a look at the different types of port scanning that I can do. I'm going to use the Nessus SNMP scanner, and I'm going to use the Nessus TCP scanner as well. We're going to ping the remote host, and we're going to do a couple of other types of port scanners, so SSH and WMI. So that would be a Windows port scanner, so doing netstat for Windows. So that's the port scanning settings, and I'm actually going to leave the defaults, although if I wanted to scan everything here, I could do 0 to 65535. In this case, though, I'm going to say that the defaults are good enough, so we're going to leave the defaults alone. Now we're going to check on the performance. That's about how many parallel connections that I want to allow, the number of simultaneous TCP sessions. I'm really going to leave all of those alone. I don't need to play with those at all. So we're going to go to advanced settings. We're going to uncheck safe checks in this case. I'm going to log the scan details to the server, so I've got details about the scan. And we're just going to do silent dependency. So if there's a dependency on a particular plugin, we're just going to allow that dependency without having it actually ask. And the reason I actually unchecked safe checks was Nessus will not perform particular tasks that may potentially cause an outage on the targeted system. In this case, I'm actually going to be looking at a system on my own internal network here, and so I'm just going to leave safe checks unchecked because I really want to throw everything at this system. I want to see what I can get as a result of doing those unsafe checks, see if I can actually turn up additional vulnerabilities. So that's just the basic general settings here, and the important ones are really in the port scanning, the different types of scanning that you want to be able to do, and whether you're going to ping the system or not. And then there's also advanced, and really the big one there is the safe checks, whether you want to do safe checks. And then, of course, there's if you want to log scan details to server or not. So that's just some of the initial policy settings for this policy that we're working on. In the next couple of videos, we'll be talking about some other settings over here in these tabs. We'll be talking about credentials and then preferences based on different applications, and particularly if we want to be looking at web applications as well.